Hey guys, and welcome to our review of Violet Evergarden, Episode 8. I'm your host, the Cinder Blaze, and with me today we have...
Makotoa.
Alright, let's jump right into this flashback episode.
Oh.
And oh boy,
Oh.
it was the episode I was dreading ever since Episode 1. I did not want to see.
This is the episode I wanted to see ever since Episode 1, and now that I've seen it, I'm like, oh no. No. Please no.
Yeah. Like, halfway through this episode, I was like, you know what? I don't want to see the rest of this flashback. I want to go back to the present time. Like, so maybe she can, deal with the aftermath or something. I don't want to see Gilbert die.
Oh man, no. We are gonna, and we get to see it in all of its immense detail as well.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really reach it at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Because, like, as they've shown us earlier in the series, they do kind of, like, reach this kind of, like, hallway or, like...
Yeah, and she also
cave-in
has
building.
her arms missing by the end of it, so that hasn't quite happened by the end of this episode, for the flashback at least. But, I mean, at the beginning of the episode, she's going from place to place trying to get answers. She goes to Gilbert's brother, and he finds out that nobody actually told her that he was dead, and then he gets all pissed off because she's sad. You're not supposed to be sad, you were just his tool.
Yeah, just like the kind of weapon that he was just supposed to, like, use. But not apparently, but I feel like his feelings for Violet Garden kind of made him put himself in danger. Like, maybe he wasn't supposed to be on that type of mission, because that felt like a suicide mission for sure.
Yeah.
And
it was
like,
because he had her on his ranks, probably, that maybe he got chosen for that. Because she's like obviously made the talk of the town, like in the regiment. People are already saying that she's his weapon, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, and like, we're leading in, and like, I need to talk about how two-dimensional that, like, commanding officer was. Like, okay, sure, the brother is a demented, psychopathic evil guy. Sure, I'll take that one. But the commander-in-chief guy is also, like, completely heartless, and it's not even, like, subtle. It's just, he goes out of his way. Yeah, and then when you're done using her, you can just throw her out. Like, who says that? Who? What? Whose side are these? Are we on the bad guy side, like, in this war? Because that's what it felt like for a moment there.
Well, I feel like all upper brass is kind of, portrayed as such. It's a very stereotypical portrayal of, like, a high-ranking military office, but you kind of just, like, think of...
two-dimensional, though, like, jeez.
Yeah, like, that really was just real dumb.
That was probably the worst part of the episode for me, was that moment.
Like, it felt like one of those things where everyone besides, like, the protagonist and our main characters are, like, evil.
Mm-hmm.
Or not really in this case. I'm, like, backtracking. Like, this is kind of, like...
Yeah.
It's, like, kind of fuddling my mind. How, like, kind of... Like I said, two-dimensional. Like, he's just a bad person. Like, I don't really care anything... There's no, like, rationale behind why she was picked as this weapon and kind of, like, thrown into this war, just like, Violet Evergarden is a weapon, and we shall use her as such. And it's like...
Yeah, it was, like,
okay,
it was super cheesy, like, unbelievably, right? Like, no one is gonna believe that character is that.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to...
I don't know.
They're kind of trying to contrast, like, those guys from, like, Violet, how she's kind of, like, pure and, like, always, like, she's the epitome of, like, goodness, despite, like, all the horrible crap she's done.
Yeah.
But I felt like we didn't really need that. Like, that was just... It felt too much like, I'm a bad guy character, I gotta say my bad guy lines.
Yeah.
I gotta be that douchebag on the beach who's hitting on the main character's girlfriend or whatever.
Pretty much. But goodness, like there's, and then we have the scene where they're walking in the in the city, and Gil's like, this is the good that you've accomplished. These people, are able to celebrate because we were able to like take back the city, and yada yada blah. And I mean, that was good. It was nice. It was a nice little thing, but there's so much going on in this episode. We just kind of skip over that real quick. And I mean, I think maybe later on that might become relevant, because honestly, with her whole guilt tripping thing, that's a memory she needs to like go back to and realize that even though she has killed a lot of people, she's also saved a lot of people as a result. So I hope that comes back in some way, or maybe at least somebody reiterates some kind of, the same kind of line to her at some point, because she's still on fire, apparently. But
yeah, it's kind of weird. But one thing I really liked about that scene was the characterization for Gilbert, especially.
Yeah.
Like, you can really feel, like, the pain he had.
It was
the
such
entire
conflict in him.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we saw that in, like, the first episode when he was kind of, like, giving those looks at, like, Violet when he gave her the brooch.
Yeah.
And, like, we were kind of, like, confused, like, oh, maybe there's some, like, tragic stuff going on in the background. And, like, right here, we kind of get more context of the war. And he probably knew, like, preemptively, like, the position that they were in, the war at least,
yeah,
that they would be put in a really dangerous, like, mission, and they probably wouldn't be able to, like, come back.
Yeah.
Also, the way that everyone is kind of, like, treating him and, like, Violet, oh, she's just your weapon and all that stuff. And, you can just, like, use her. And he does care for Violet a lot. Like, he taught her how to read and write, and he's, like, bonding with her. And he's just like, he feels like he can't do this,
Yeah.
Like, I can't send this person to war. I don't want her to just, like, it's not a life that she chose, She's just kind of following orders. And
it's crazy that we've like gleamed all of this off of his intentions, and he didn't say a word. He did not say a word of this, but we could just read it throughout all of his almost just lack of saying anything throughout the episode. Like the moment when he first sees her on the battlefield and like she's just wiping people out and there's an explosion and he's just kind of standing there, and it's almost like he's gonna tear up because he's just seeing this like innocent girl just turn into or be used this way. And in his head, I'm sure he's like, this is not the way a little girl should be raised, or this is not the kind of thing she should be succumbed to, or better, she deserves better than this kind of thing. And when he gives her the brooch and she's like, she learns what beautiful means.
And the reason she picked it was because it matched
his eyes, not
Major's
hers.
eyes. I was like,
his eyes. Oh my gosh. And I can't, like, I know that the conflict was definitely, like you were saying, that who knows if they were going to make it out alive. Either one of them could die, or both. But then, which reminds me, I hate how this episode kept saying things like these empty promises that we already know aren't going to happen, but just tease these like empty, you'll work for me next when we get out of here, and she'll work for me too. Maybe that's better. It's like, we'll go do this and that after the war's over. It's like, okay, stop.
Like,
we get it.
Yeah, stop making me hurt.
Yes.
Like when the lieutenant colonel just has that conversation, and the major's like, I'm not gonna be working for you. I'm just like, and he's like, maybe Violet will. And it's like,
yeah, seriously.
You straight up jinxed it. Come on, dude.
All his fault, completely. And but when that moment where he puts the brooch on her, and like you just keep seeing him like nearly tear up. It's like that's from his
his guilt.
Yeah, his guilt. But I don't know. Do I ship it, or what is this relationship? Is she his dog? Is she his child?
Hey,
What?
the bond between a man and his dog is
Yeah.
unbreakable.
Right? But like,
Like-
what? And then like, I mean, the whole series, it was feeling like a ship for, getting the
Like an
ring.
actual
yeah,
ship,
an actual ship. But like, this episode has caused much conflict in my soul. Like, I can't. It's hard. I don't know what to think anymore. But
Yeah,
she still
like-
freaking loves him to bits, and it's like,
Yeah, the age gap is a lot more evident in the flashbacks.
yeah.
Like when we see her in the present, even though she's like 16 or something really young, we don't really see it as much. She looks kind of mature in like
Yeah.
a huge dress and stuff. But here it's like she looks like she can probably be a daughter
Yeah.
to him, or maybe like a younger sister. I feel like it's more of the younger sister. Older brother kind of like bond.
Yeah.
But considering this is taking place in like an older time,
Yeah.
like not like European, but
Yeah.
the age gaps for marriage are probably more.
Exactly, because I mean, like
significant
they already made it very clear in one of the episodes that this princess is going to get married to this like man who's like 20 years older than she is, and it's totally fine. So
Oh yeah,
I mean, they've already set that kind of like they've already
Precedent.
established it in this world that it's totally okay. So I think that's still an undertone that they might be pushing, but I don't know, man.
yeah. Oh well.
It's hard.
Do you have any like final thoughts for this episode? Like a lot of it was just like emotional. There's not much to discuss. But there was a lot to experience. In this
Yeah,
episode.
it was a lot
I
to
feel like-
experience. You're right.
So any final thoughts?
I guess not. I mean,
Or-
yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like there's a lot I want to talk about with this episode, but like there really isn't. It's just I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
I'll say
yeah.
that. Alright. So that's it for us for our review. Sorry this was really rambly and we just can't words right now.
Yeah.
But make sure to at least like, comment, and subscribe down below, and check out the description for all of our social media links and that juicy Discord link as well. Yeah. Catch you later.
Later.